Our last session for today is Advantage Austria Souls. It will be an experience to explore the Austrian startup ecosystem. Enjoy cookies and juice sponsored by Advantage Austria Soul. Let me introduce David Erdich.
Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us at our session Meet Austria at COMEUP 2023. So first things first, we have prepared some juice and some cookies for you because soon Christmas season is starting. So please don't be shy and refresh yourself right there at the table. So my name is David. I'm the Deputy Trade Commissioner at Advantage Austria Seoul. We are the commercial section of the Austrian Embassy. And I'm your host for tonight. Some of you may know already Austria or have been there for holidays. And first thing coming to your mind is probably historic buildings, classical music, and these white horses, the Lipizzaner horses you may find in the Spanish horse riding school in Vienna. But did you know that there are also plenty of unicorns found to be found in Austria? To be concrete, there are 6 unicorns at the moment. According to a recent study. And so 6 unicorns is quite impressive considering the size. This makes Austria the 4th largest unicorn habitat in Europe. Some of them are, for example, TTT Tech, a platform for autonomous driving, Bitpanda, a crypto exchange platform, or Go Student, which is an online tutoring platform, mainly for children and students to make their skills at school better. So at today's session, you will be able to explore the Austrian startup ecosystem. You will get in touch with the most relevant actors, helping companies or startups going from Korea to Austria and vice versa. And you will meet some of the most exciting and promising startups from Austria who already have a subsidiary here in Korea. To set the scene and prepare you for what's coming, I welcome on stage the Austrian Trade Commissioner, Mr. Wolfgang Köstinger, who will give you an overview on the trade relations between Austria and Korea.
안녕하십니까? Hello everyone. Thank you for the nice introduction by my deputy, David Jaric. My name is Wolfgang Köstinger. I'm the Austrian Trade Commissioner. I'm head of Advantage Austria. I've been living here for a little more than 3 years. Surprisingly ingenious, that's what Austrian companies are. Maybe you don't know too many of them, but did you know that Red Bull is Austrian? And Swarovski is also Austrian. But there's also a lot of other Austrian companies that you might not have been aware of that they are actually from Austria. You see here Doppelmayr, if you use one of the chairlifts, for example in Yongpyong or Haiwan. You have companies like Andritz. Maybe you have seen the fruit juices over there. That's the company Rauch. And some of those of you who like to go by motorbike might know KT&M. And there are many other what we call hidden champions in Austria. Well, Austria is a bridge to new markets. It's in the heart of Europe. As you can see, it's a rather small country, a little smaller than South Korea, with a population of 9 million people. But it's in the center of the European Union, which is a huge market, and Austria is the perfect access to that market. There are in Austria more than 300 international companies that have made Austria the preferred location for their Central Europe and Eastern Europe headquarters, amongst them, for example, huge corporations like Coca-Cola. And the advantages are obvious. It's the proximity to the target market, a very high stability, a high quality of living, a very good infrastructure, and as well a very, very high education level. Austria, as well as South Korea, for both countries, exports are vital. Austria has a very high export rate of 50% of GDP and exports to almost all countries in the world. As you can see from the figures, there was an increase of exports of 17.6% in 2022, and Austria is ranked number 7th in the world for exports per capita. So here you can see the steady growth of Austrian exports between 2000 and 2022. So now we have reached roughly 200 million euro 200 billion euro worth of exports to the world. And as well, a rather sharp increase during the last year after the pandemic. In Austria, we have more than 60,000 companies that regularly export. Main export goods are machinery, which make up roughly a quarter of all Austrian exports, but as well chemicals, 15%, and some of you might be surprised, vehicles, so that's 12%. You might wonder which brands are these. It's actually the Mercedes G-Class and the BMW 5 Series, which you often also see in the streets of Seoul. Last year, we had a record of exports of Austrian goods to South Korea. So it was an increase of 36.5%, and they amounted to 1.76 billion. At the same time, we also had an increase of Austrian imports from Korea. Austrian export goods are mainly on the automotive sector, so roughly 1/3, but as well a lot of machinery, but also electronic products. And many of you probably like Korean barbecue, and the chance is rather high that the pork comes from Austria. So here you can see the sharp increase of both exports and imports between our two countries. So Korea is Austria's 3rd largest trade partner in Asia after China and Japan. And there are 60 Austrian companies which boast subsidiaries here in South Korea. But on the other hand, also South Korea or South Korean companies see Austria as a very attractive investment destination. And in total, there is an investment of 1.3 billion euros of South Korean companies like Samsung, like LG, like Woojin, who have heavily invested in Austria. And last but not least, the organization I work for is Advantage Austria, which is part of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber. So it's basically the Austrian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And our organization is entrusted by the government as well with the responsibility and the honor to promote foreign trade. And we are 100% financed by the contribution of our Austrian member companies. We have an international network of roughly 100 offices worldwide. In Asia, for example, we have offices apart from Seoul as well in Beijing, in Shanghai, in Hong Kong. We're in Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Tokyo, Manila, Jakarta. In Austria, almost 550,000 Austrian companies are our members. Our organization has in total more than 700 employees worldwide in more than 70 countries. Thank you so much for the attention, and I would like now to hand over to our MC, David Jaric. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Köstinger. Me personally, I find it very interesting that Korea has even become, at the moment, more important than the Japanese market for Austrian companies. I think this shows a lot what potential there is in relations between Austria and Korea in general. So when we talk about startup support, I think startup support is always a team effort. So private sector and government agencies should always work together as one unity to facilitate the success of the startups abroad. And I think this is what we are particularly doing well in Austria, that we work together well, our organization representing all Austrian companies together with the government agencies. To connect this with numbers, since 2011 there were more than 3,300 startups founded in Austria. Currently 25,000 people are working with a startup or for a startup more precisely. And the nature of a startup is always they have to go abroad, right? They have a scalable business model. They need to reach out to other markets. And that's why we, together with our partners from the Ministry of Economics, the Global Incubator Network Austria, we established the so-called Go Asia programs. Through these Go Asia programs, we help Austrian startups to expand to Asian markets. So how are we doing that? Usually in different cities, like for example Seoul, we call it the Go Seoul program, or Go Tokyo for Japan and Go Singapore for Singapore and so on. We select a batch of 5 to 8 startups and out of numerous applications, of course, and we give them an individual accelerator program. We bring them here. They get, of course, also financial support, and we introduce them to the local market. We show them some stakeholders. We connect them with VCs, obviously, and the most important thing, each one for our Go Seoul program, each startup gets assigned one mentor from our office. This is usually an industry expert, right? We have one person in our office who is working exclusively with the Korean food industry. So if we have a food startup, the food startup would get assigned this mentor. And together with this mentor, they are making B2B meetings, meeting potential partners, potential investors, of course. And it has proven quite successful over the last year. So we can say with pride, all of the startups you will see later on who will introduce themselves have found partners in Korea and successfully established a subsidiary here through our program. Last September, we had our last batch. So this September, we had our last batch with 5 companies, and they were coming from different verticals, different industries. Like we had one food tech startup, we had one travel tech startup. We had one company producing something like noise cancelling earphones for rooms, which is very interesting. Imagine just we could isolate using this panel, it's a physical panel, we could isolate the backstage there and make it silent. So you would just hear me. And the last batch in September has proven quite successful, and I can already spoiler so far that they have, or some of these companies have already arranged follow-up meetings, and they're on the verge of probably also establishing a subsidiary or a business relation of any kind here. Good. So, as I think, okay. So now you heard what I said, how we support Austrian startups going to Korea. But we are now in Korea, and you will think, yeah, but I'm a Korean startup. What can Advantage Austria do for me? Or how can I access the Austrian market? Well, our next speaker, who will join us online, he will explain you exactly that. It's my colleague from Vienna, Mr. Werner Müller, who will introduce the Go Austria program to you and show you how you as a Korean startup may experience Austria as a potential hub for your expansion to Europe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Ho-Jun Lee. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer at Ictus AI. And what we do, Ictus AI is commercializing next generation AI aquaculture from Austria in Korea. We have found a amazing aquaculture technology in Austria, developed by this company called Blue Planet Ecosystem. And we believe this company has the best AI aquaculture system in the world. And Ictus AI, we have an arrangement with them. We have exclusive Korea license, and we are in charge of localizing and commercializing the technology in Korea. We have currently secured $1 million of financing and $0.45 million of Korean government research. We are looking for further remaining $500,000 of funding. So if you are interested, please stay until the end of the presentation and we'll give you some information. Thank you. So just to talk about the Korean market, why is that the Korean market so interesting? So as you may not know, the Koreans eat seafood more than any other country in the world. In fact, an average Korean eats 60 kilograms of seafood per year. If you compare that with Austria, that's only 13 kilograms. So we are extremely good market for this kind of aquaculture technology. Also, seafood sufficiency in Korea is dropping very rapidly, down to 60% in 2019 and dropping further. And for example, another very sought after seafood, shrimp, for example, 90% of shrimp supply is from overseas. So the market is very good. At the same time, the Korean consumers face a lot of problems. So they have a high need for safe, healthy seafood, but this is threatened by disease, war, climate change, and radiation, etc. So the price of seafood is rising day by day in Korea. So to be able to service this market, what we really require is environmentally friendly, healthy, stable, low cost, fresh, easy, scalable aquaculture. And we were searching all over the world for this kind of technology. And believe it or not, we found it in Austria, and it was being developed by a Blue Planet Ecosystem. So how does their technology look like? Their technology is called LARA. It's the acronym for Land-Based Automated Recirculating Aquaculture, and it looks pretty much like that. And how does this work? So this is a prototype that the Blue Planet Ecosystem developed about 4 years ago, and this is how it works. In the top tank, they grow a plant plankton, which just needs sunlight and carbon dioxide, and they grow exponentially. Once they grow that, they feed that to the middle tank, which contains zooplankton, which eats the plant plankton. And then they feed the zooplankton to the fish or the shrimp. And once the fish and the shrimp creates waste, they recirculate that to the top tank, to the algae tank, where it consumes the waste and turn that into protein again. So this is a completely closed system, and this system is completely controlled by automated artificial intelligence technology. So, for example, the AI at the moment is tracking all the fish as the movement and storing it as a big data. And when they find a strange fish which is swimming in a strange way, they can immediately tell whether that fish has disease or some kind of other problems. So they can recondition the condition immediately. And this kind of system is completely made from a factory. So it's a factory-made, ready-to-go system. So you can make them in a rapid way using automated conveyor belt. So what's the advantage of this system? For example, in the typical aquaculture, the biggest cost is actually feed cost. And the system does not require feed because it just needs sunlight. And the next biggest cost in aquaculture is labor cost. And this system does not require labor cost because everything is done by AI. And then the next cost is land cost. And you can practically do this technology anywhere you want, like this, in a desert. So the land costs can be reduced very significantly. On top of that, by doing this technology, you can actually achieve environment friendliness, and this technology does not require any antibiotics or anything, so it's very healthy. It's highly scalable, and it produces very stable seafood, which is very much the thing that's sought after in the fishing industry. So, as you say, this system can be deployed anywhere in mass scale, very fast, in anywhere in the world. And one of these, so by doing this, you have actually achieved all the things that you want to achieve, which is quite amazing. And this technology was that it's quite surprising that this technology was developed in Austria, because as you may see in this map, Austria does not have any sea. So it doesn't have a fishing industry. But how could Austria develop such a amazing technology? And I think the reason why Austria was able to do this is precisely because you don't have a fishing industry. So if you grew up in Korea, for example, from when you're young until you're very old, you would see the aquaculture system, which is depicted on the right-hand side of this picture. So everything is construction type. Everything is an open system, so that human beings can have access to the tank to look after the fish and all that stuff. But we are living in the artificial intelligent data world, and we don't need human input anymore. So we need a much more data-friendly system, which is on the left, which is the system that Blue Planet ecosystem developed. And precisely because they haven't seen what's on the right, they were able to think completely out of the box and develop something completely new. So this is what is so amazing about this technology. So as I explained, this is factory-made reticle system, and can just chunk it out like a car, highly scalable. And also everything done is by AI. And we can actually adapt the AI for all sorts of different kinds of species, not just fish, but shrimp, and other species as well. So what's also amazing is that this is the world's first fully automated aquaculture. All the other aquaculture requires a lot of human input. However, if you can see on this table, a typical raw system growing tilapia will probably require 30 hours a week to look after the aquaculture, but this technology requires only 1 hour, which is revolutionary. And what's the business model for this technology? We have, firstly, we sell seafood sales. Once we sell seafood, then we can start selling LARA hardware sales. And we can deploy these systems by the thousands. And we would sell them to conglomerates and international global F&B companies, seafood companies, etc. And then we would sell larvae or hatchlings to these LARAs, and also AAA service, which stands for AI Automated Aquaculture Service. So every kilogram they produce, we charge $3 or something like that as a service charge. So this is a kind of a very new kind of business model for aquaculture industry, which is very also interesting. So how did it all start? We met Blue Planet Ecosystem in 2019. We have been continuously meeting with them and discussing how to, and also checking on the progress of the technology development. We were extremely satisfied how they were developing the technology. And then around 2022, we started talking about exclusive commercial license development and commercial license in Korea. And in 2003, we decided to put it to work, and we raised money, and we have started. So next year, we are going to bring in a couple of LARAs from Austria and start commercialization in Korea. So thank you very much for listening to this. And I hope you find that very interesting. We have a very good team in Korea, consisting of ourselves, university specializing in aquaculture, and we also have a Blue Planet team supporting us from Austria in terms of technical support. So as we said, we are looking for an investment of around $500,000. If you're interested, please contact us at this number. I will keep this slide on for a while so you can take a picture. Now, I think what's interesting about the joint venture is Austria at the moment has the best technology for aquaculture, and Korea has the best market for aquaculture in the world. So by merging the two, we are increasing the probability of success. Thanks very much.
So thank you very much, Mr. Ho-Jin Lee from Ictus AI. I'm sorry for the confusion. There was unfortunately a technical issue on the side of Werner, who wanted to join us from Vienna, and therefore the colleague from Ictus AI helped us and jumped in. He's the partner of an Austrian company called Blue Planet Ecosystem, and this is actually a quite revolutionary idea, because this technology from Blue Planet Ecosystem allows you to grow seed food everywhere, literally everywhere on a large scale, and all you need is sunlight. You could put these containers in the middle of the desert and grow shrimps there. I think this has really the potential to revolutionize the food industry as a whole. So, as announced earlier, now joining us from Vienna, our colleague Werner Müller, who will now explain us how you can expand your Korean startup to Vienna. Welcome, Werner. You are live in Seoul right now.
Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you for the nice introduction. Sorry for the technical issues again. I want to start with a movie before I give you a short glimpse into the Austrian startup ecosystem and invite you to Austria with the Go Austria program of the Global Incubator Network. What's in for you? I'm going to present you the Global Incubator Network. It's a program that helps startups to come to Austria as your springboard for your expansion to Europe. And we've got also a program the other way around. It's a governmental program focusing on startups in Asia, not only on South Korea, but also in Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, China, and Israel. So for all these startups, we've got the offer to come to Austria. This is the Go Austria program. So for all startups who are in the room and thinking about going to Austria, want to expand to Europe, this is your program. Start with Austria. It's a market discovery program where you get access to the Austrian startup ecosystem. It's a exploring trip to the Austrian startup market, helping you also with partners within the program. And it's like there are several different programs. We've got also a program the other way around, helping Austrian startups expanding to Austria, as we heard before, like Blue Planet Ecosystem, but that's not the topic today. So what's in for you guys? I think Austria is already explained. So it's a really nice country, small but beautiful country with access to a big German-speaking market. With highly qualified talents. So if you're thinking about also doing R&D here, it's a great location to do so. Business-friendly economic climate, so it's not too much strikes. Really good place to live also. So it's not about only business-wise, it's also life-wise. It's a really great location. The Go Austria program, it's a market discovery program. We've got different types of programs. So it's the group program twice a year. If you're thinking about come to Austria, so that could be a program between 10 and 20 startups we accept per program. So it's a batch program with startups from different areas of Asia, joining for one program of 2 weeks in Austria. And then we've got several other programs, like a follow-up program if you're thinking found in your first program a partner or thinking about expanding to Austria, then we've got a follow-up program to deepen your relation in Austria. And the last offer we have is the Go Austria Plus program. It's a welcome package exclusively for Go Austria alumni who decide to found an entity in Austria. Focusing on the batch program for startups, it's a 1 to 3 week acceleration program with a digital onboarding first, and then a 2 weeks or 3 weeks on-site stay in Austria. Normally, we're focusing on times where there are a lot of startup events taking place in Austria, so that you've got also the chance to show all your solutions to a wide audience. We cover all expenses regarding travel costs, hotel costs. We offer you an individual mentor that takes care of you, preparing with you business meetings, one-on-one meetings with potential customers, corporates, and investors. And we offer you also workshops and networking and set pitch opportunities at startup events and conferences. And I want to invite you to the next program that will take place in spring. So the application period will start beginning of next year, with the program taking place end of May, beginning of June, during the Vienna Up Startup Festival. So it's the biggest startup festival in Central Eastern Europe. So a great opportunity if you want to meet a lot of potential clients, customers, but also other startups, not just from Austria. There will be several startups from the neighbor country, but also from other countries that are invited to Austria. So as said, the program will take place 2 weeks. If you're thinking about applying for the program, we will send the link afterwards through the Advantage Austria office for applying to the program. And as said, the Startup Festival take place beginning of June till the 9th of June. That will be the period for the next program. And if you're thinking about applying, that's the Go Austria team. My colleagues and I are always happy to talk to you if you're thinking about expanding or have any questions regarding the Austrian startup ecosystem. On site, we work together with partners. So in Korea, we've got several partners next to the Advantage Austria office. If you have any questions, come to them or to us directly, or also maybe via one of our partners. For any questions, check our website, or right now I think we've got maybe also some time for a short Q&A. That was it from my side. Looking forward to see you guys in Vienna the upcoming spring.
So thank you very much, Werner. Greetings to Vienna. And to all of you, I can only recommend to you apply for the Go Austria program. It's a really, really great opportunity. I would argue not only to explore Austria, but it can be your bridge to the whole European market. Let's not forget Austria is located right in the center of Europe, and every major city is maximum 2 hours flight time away from Austria. And you can also access the whole German-speaking market from there, like Germany, Switzerland, of course, which are in the same region. So our next program point for today is probably a more classic startup from Austria, as you would expect it. Like Blue Planet Ecosystems earlier, you wouldn't expect a company helping growing fish products would come from a landlocked country. Next one is Artivive. So you have almost 500 museums in Austria, privately funded and public funded, and countless galleries. And as a matter of fact, the Habsburgs, they were really, really fervent art collectors, mainly Rudolf II and Ferdinand from Tyrol, whose collection is displayed at the Art History Museum in Vienna. And very famous in Korea probably is the Belvedere Museum. All of you know this golden masterpiece of Gustav Klimt, The Kiss, which is displayed there. So what does Artivive do? It helps, or it brings artwork to life, and it's changed the way we are watching and consuming art. So, but enough from my side, let the expert speak. So joining us on stage, Mr. John Park from Artivive, welcome.
Hello, my name is John Park, who is CEO of Artivive Korea, and also we are early investor of Artivive. So we are honored to be with Artivive, AR art company. I'm gonna introduce very briefly and fast. Gonna introduce vision and value, and our technology, and our service and portfolio. So Artivive is basically the new way to experience art because almost everyone has their own mobile phone. It could be a very good option for enjoying art in other way and advanced way. And Artivive is not only Artivive representing Artivive, and also art planning and real estate planning company. For personal, Artivive provide a way to enjoy the new way of art, and for institute, they could provide their guest or client company to show the advanced and more various way of work of art. So we have 4 expertise. First thing is art tech planning part, and art exhibition part, and UI UX design part, and space design part. So our feature of Artivive Web is easy and fast and various, and the whole volume of the application is just 30 megabyte. And also we have these characteristic, which is very useful. So almost all famous university in Korea are using Artivive for their class, like Seoul University and Hongik University and Kookmin universities. And in overseas, MIT Art Part and Harvard University. I'm going to show you our service. First thing is, as I said, we have expertise in the art planning and the real estate planning. So we worked with the Lotte department store. We installed a lot of mega installations, and we used the global mega influencer IP for this project. And also there are tons of AR parts, like AR photo zone and AR card. So it was very successful project for us. And we are honored to be with part of Busan Expo running with President's office. There were AR artwork instead of a photo zone. It was very dynamic zone because they are moving. They are moving when they are being taken. And this project was for adult exhibition. So the characteristic of adult exhibition, it went viral very well, and I received many messages from my friends and guys. And this is Baeknamjun Art Center exhibition. We participate in this project as a AR docent provider. So AR docent provider help Baeknamjun Center providing the docent without people. And so guests could enjoy the AR docent program without any others. And this is Seoul Station's exhibition. This is Jangukjin Museum, located in Yangju. And also Belvedere Museum, the world famous and representing Austria museum is also using Artivive. So you might know Egon Schiele, the famous Austrian painter. Egon Schiele's paintings are also adopted AR by Artivive. And also in 2020, we were AR partner company of Art Busan. There was only one art exhibition in that year because of COVID, and we could check people really like to enjoy AR art, and we could show they are spending a long time to see AR art. And this is media art. As I said, we are not only just an AR company. We have a specialty in the media art too. So we worked with the universal everything. And this is digital forest. You could see forest by digital. And also we did a VL in Baeknam-dun Art Center. Interactive art experience. And last thing is space design. This is a parking space, and there is a graffiti artist named Nikos, and people could enjoy the AR dinosaur in San Francisco parking lot. And also these things. So many famous brands already use Artivive for their offline event, and it was very powerful and impactful. So we are focusing on AR product development too. These days, we saw Bernard Berbero, who is a famous writer, use Artivive for their new books. And yeah, monthly design magazine also use it, and the Leo Museum, which is run by Samsung Group, also use Artivive. And you could see AR clothes and accessory and a lot of cards. So you could see Bernard Berbero new books, and you could see AR stuff. And this is a monthly design magazine. Also, in this year, we worked with the Lotte Group to make a company culture AR photo card, and yeah, it was very fun. These goods are for running Busan Expo, so we also made a good for running Busan Expo. This is a Leo Museum magazine. Also use Artivive, and yeah. And these are Baeknam-dun Art Center art goods, and all these art goods are using Artivive. Also, we worked with BTS and Seoul City, so for promoting Seoul as a traveler's destination. Also, we worked with YG Entertainment and also SM and JYP, everything. Sports promotion events could be the option, and packaging products might be our new area to play. And furniture catalog. And especially we are focusing on invitation card, like a wedding invitation card, 청첩장, and 명함, name card. Yeah. So also we did NCT SM Entertainment NCT online concert project. SM Entertainment used RTVibe for raising their revenue. For getting a special AR photo card, customers should pay more. So it was successful winning case. So you could see our customers, thankful customers. And thank you for hearing from RTVibe. Have a good night. Thank you.
So thank you so much, John. I think art and technology combined with Austria, it's like a match made in heaven, which works perfectly, right? So we continue in an artistic way, even though a bit in a different direction. So now we come to the very classic part, I would say the strong suit of Austria. You all know Austria is, without being an overstatement, one of the capitals of classical music. Just think of Mozart, Haydn, and so on. And the Vienna Classic was something like the Hallyu wave back then, a few centuries ago. If you are an artist yourself, you're by nature a lot on the road, you're traveling a lot, and you may search or look for a place to rehearse or to give a show. And what are your means? You could use Airbnb, but then good luck with your neighbors. So the next company who will present here solved exactly this problem. Their name is Music Traveler, and joining us now live from Hong Kong, the founder and CEO of Music Traveler, Miss Julia Ree.
Hello, hi everyone. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Welcome, Julia.
All right, great. All right, so now I'm going to also start sharing the screen as well. And then hello again, everyone from Hong Kong. It's a really pleasure, and it's really shame that I couldn't be there, but hopefully next time. So I now present to you guys our company, Music Traveler, and maybe give you a little bit of a backstory why we created this company as well. So back in a long time, not very long time ago, I was a classical pianist myself and studied in Vienna. My co-founder, Alexei Gudesman, also a musician and filmmaker who's in Austria, we started to chat about how it is impossible for us to get spaces to do any types of activities as an artist. I mean, this is not only just practicing group rehearsing, but when we have to do any kind of recordings, and I'm sure it is going to be exactly the same for many artists in these directions. If you are trying to do any types of work, I mean, we didn't have back then WeWork as an example, or any places to go as an office spaces. So it was either at home doing your craft and then doing your work and getting lots of complaints by the neighbors. Otherwise, you have to also really do rigorous research, and when you're traveling, just forget about it. And even if you are working with the managers and agencies, it's someone else's job to find the spaces. So the space search never really stops whatsoever. I'm just going to need help with the page. I'm sorry about that. So after all, we basically decide to solve the problem by ourselves and go through, okay, if we were to spend less time and less effort and be able to do the search query in a more simplistic sense, what kind of ways and what processes should be simplified. And it was in a way surprising for us to realize where there's a restaurants or the hotels and the taxis, that industry had already platformed and companies that had consolidated their inventories, and people have easily access to all these properties like hotels.com, Airbnbs, and the Ubers and Kakao Taxi, for example, in Korea. In a way, we basically modeled into those platforms and the sharing economy back in those days when those guys started to really mimic some of those companies' good traits. So the first thing we did was coming down to the solutions on, okay, what do we want to really narrow down in terms of the search queries? What's going to be the most important thing? It's not actually just the space. It's underneath of the space, what's in the space and how is it in the space was really important for all this detailed research. So we started to really create that bottom lines of the variables. What can we actually put it in to segment? And therefore, the space search can be really concentrated, and therefore the time of the places that you can pick can be minimized, and then really go into the decision making and be able to really go do your job. So we created a search buffet, simplistic solutions as any other companies in the platform business have done in the industry. But I think we did it for the first time for the music industry, and we were very happy about it. And we were the first customers of our own platforms. But in a way, we realized it wasn't just our problems and our friends and people in the industry that we have worked with and we had been working with. And we were basically realizing the bigger problems in the entire music industry and furthermore performing arts industry. So because obviously we were in the classical music world, Vienna being one of the central and it's the mecca of the classical world, it was no-brainer having chatted with everyone, just really joining our forces. But then more and more we have organically grew to Germany, Switzerland, the neighboring countries of Austria, and we're also in Italy and many other European countries and North America. We have had all these venues popping out and registering by themselves, and we will be aggressively also expanding into Korea soon, and we have a lot of activities going on in the US, which will be having a soft launch in the next coming summer as well. We started with the, I would say, 10 instruments that were very core, hard to carry around, most thought through, which was, I'm sure you can guess, piano and the drum sets and the double bass. But then more and more instruments got added up, more exotic things. And for example, places like Berlin, we have all these cool DJ studios and production facilities where everyone has all this amazing tech to make disco music, tech music, house music, and production editing facilities as well. So it just grew into this bigger, let's say, initiatives, and we are very happy the fact that we were able to really, let's say, send our message across and be able to also understand different genres and different instruments and other pain points in our bigger entire industry of music and going forward performing arts industry. Our current product, this was one of the products that we have launched for our two sides of the customers. First one being buyer, where the people like myself or the production companies or any of the people who need the spaces, they need to book for concerts and many different types of activities. And we basically have some of the little bit of flavors on the security side, where who you are should be shown to the, of course, the venues as an example, and then make sure that the what you're looking for can be really thought through. So these are the first product that we really nailed down for the buyer side. And then for the sellers, the spaces that are basically providing all these wonderful venues to be booked, we have gone a little bit further out for them to really manage their schedules, payment systems, and taxations that they didn't know they had to pay, covering insurance that they didn't have that are basically coming through us as an example, and many different ways of really giving them feedback management and customer services. So we were able to provide almost property management or booking management system and some part of the operations that they really had been not realizing that they didn't have any help or support or system that was within their current operations. So we were able to support a lot more than what we have imagined at the very beginning, to the point where we are becoming more on the SaaS platform for some of our seller customers as well. Now, these are our current real venues. You can see the varieties and then also the genre differences and the spaces that really looks contrasting. And for example, one of these places in, I believe that's in Utrecht in Holland, the Netherlands, where some famous composer's home with a bunch of different instruments where they have this indoor-outdoor setup But if you are a songwriter or someone who's trying to write music, this is the place to go and have a quietness in the middle of the mountains. And you can see some of the drum dance studios and rock band actually shooting a music video in the middle. And on the bottom, when you see the two sofas, that's the real studio of this film composer called Hans Zimmer. Maybe you guys know the Lion Kings, the Interstellars. Every single blockbuster films that you can imagine, the sound was by him. This is the very studio that was filmed. Also, the sounds were written and then recorded. So we have this amazing spaces with the stories behind it. And I think one of the photos in the corner is also part of the Mozart house in Austria. Mozart used to really live there. So there's spaces with the stories and the very unique locations that otherwise, if we didn't exist, otherwise you couldn't get in. So we were able to also bring so many different types of spaces for different types of activities as well. So just to brief you guys, there are so many instruments. I'm not sure if any of you guys knew there were 700 something instruments that existed, and then 2,800 plus genres that's out there. And it's actually growing. The genres are always getting invented, and there's always new types of music that happens. But these are kind of the core activities as a music professionals that you would imagine. For example, the music lessons, you can be teaching or learning. Even if you're not a musician, I'm sure this can be very related to you as well. And right now we have a lot of let's say B2B customers that are looking for spaces where they can be recording music for films and TV simultaneously. They want to film record the process of making the musical that goes into the film. So it's very interesting how very specific venues are with the streaming, but not for filming and things like that. So there's a vast majority of the, let's say, TV and the filming industry professionals that are overlapping within our spaces as well. And we have theater spaces that are popping out a lot as well. So now we're going into a little bit more than music industry on top of what we're doing right now. Now, when we simply segment the customers, of course, we as a startup, we were very careful about how we market the company with very limited budget. So what we started was really engaging the customers within our industry, for example, orchestras or academic universities that are in the music spaces, all the way to the music label, Universal Music, and those kind of the work. And we partnered with them to pull all the people in the industry and really try to go into the big, let's say, creative industry overall, but stepping from the live music and the recording music industry, going all the way to performing art. And creative industry, of course, as a whole, it's our bigger vision down the road. Once the music is done, of course, already are colliding with the theaters and the dance and the film music industry. But then there will be more than this kind of conventional creative economy that we say today we have, and be able to venture a bigger industry, that a bigger market that we can maybe serve down the road. And again, some of you guys are probably going to be familiar, or maybe not, but these are types of the companies that exist in different areas that we are overlapping, but they're in a completely different industry that has been already done. So we're not the very first people who's creating these types of centralized platforms, but yet we do have a little bit more the advantage on our niche industry that's going to also cluster into the bigger industry that we serve into the creative industry market as well. And currently that we, unfortunately, the pandemic, of course, wasn't the best friend for our company and then probably people in our industry. But we started with the a transaction model of the revenue model, but we will be adding the subscription model for our venues that are using our system, and building a little bit more robust system that we are going to be offering for the global customers on the seller side. So we're very excited about how we're going to have big jump from 2019 going into the complete pandemic shutdowns, but then we have revived and then going really into the faster growth, and we're trying to be a little bit more aggressive on the growth side, and excited about how everything reopened up. Everyone is traveling, going into the different types of events as well. Just to give you a quick background on the our team, again, myself was a pianist, and this is my third company that I co-founded, and also I have to say this business is really like a family business where I have known my co-founder since I was 14, 15, co-founding members for 20-something years, where we are from the music industry. Even if we were not, everyone plays some sort of an instrument and have such a passion for music and really have the same goal in mind. And we started to build this company together. As you can see, these are industry friends that we have worked with, we grew up with, went to school with. That, for example, Hans Zimmer was our first investor when we had the idea. Didn't even have a company; he was just go do it, and was the first very seed investor that was supporting us. And John was also at our very first press event launching our products. So we were very happy to get these ambassadors in our bag. But not only that, this was very important for us to validate the market and the needs. What we're doing is really necessary in our industry because it really does clean up and solve the problems that are big but then being ignored. Now we also, of course, have beautiful partners that have been working on many different projects and the collaborations. And you know, especially when we started this business in Austria, of course, you know, everyone in Austria, especially in Vienna, it was just no-brainer for them to just jump in and work together and try to really make the music, world of music, wonderful and accessible. So we're trying to now do the same thing and go forward with many different countries and more partners throughout the world. And we were also very happy to earn all this earned media from wonderful publications, and we hope to also be symbolic eventually to the Austrian startup ecosystem, where, I mean, as a music company, we really want to emphasize how, you know, companies in relations to music should be in Austria and then, of course, going global. And this is such a wonderful journey that anyone can actually experience when you start music, anything music in Vienna, of course. We're currently raising pre-Series A. I mean, we had done seed round already, and also just secured the 1 million euro lead investor for the bridge round, and we'll be starting Series A fundraising sometime third quarter next year. But currently, we will be wrapping up the bridge round to make sure that we're ramping up and then updating a lot of the products, especially when there's, of course, a trend of the AI and the machine learning that we're going to be adopting in some part of our products to go a lot faster and then serve some of the larger customers better as well. So if you have any questions regarding any other things that, of course, I couldn't talk about in this short amount of time, and the ideas that you'd like to share or partnership that that you might want to introduce, feel free to reach out to us. Yeah, for that, on that note, I'll pass it back to the host.
Thank you so much for joining us, Julia. So for everyone who is interested in collaborating with Music Traveler, you can also get in touch with us, and we are very happy to introduce you to Julia. As far as I know, she spends quite some time, also a significant amount of time in Seoul, as she's a Korean citizen herself. So don't be shy and contact us, and we are very glad to connect you. So I'm very happy to announce to you that a special VIP joined us also today. You have seen him already earlier on screen, but now he's also here live in person. It's Mr. Ho-Jun Lee from Ictus AI, who is the Korean partner of Blue Planet Ecosystems. So make sure you exchange name cards with this man, because he is about to revolutionize the food industry. So in general, if you are interested in meeting any of the startups or organizations who are present today in our session, you can always contact us at Advantage Austria. Drop us an email at soul@advantageaustria.org. we would be also glad to meet you later on. You can exchange name cards with me after the session, and then we are lucky to get in touch with you. So, if you are now set and got hungry to experience Vienna or Austria directly in person, here's your chance. Next year in June, we will be hosting, not we, our colleague here, Mr. Jan Juriga, will be hosting the Vienna Up, which is the largest startup festival in Vienna and also the place where you can meet the who is who in the Austrian startup scene. So I'm very glad to give the stage now to Mr. Juriga, who is live from Vienna with us. Mr. Juriga, you are live in Seoul.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Greetings from sunny Vienna. I hope you are all having a wonderful festival experience and lots of new connections. And if you would like to experience even more startup connections and meet investors, potential business partners, or just talent from Europe and around the world in Vienna, I would like to invite you all to the Vienna Up Festival that is going to happen next year for the 4th time in the beginning of June, on June 3rd to June 9th, 2024 in Vienna. Thanks for the introduction as the organizer of the Vienna Up Festival. Actually, I am the project lead of the Vienna Up Festival at the Vienna Business Agency. However, the Vienna Up Festival is purely decentralized, so it doesn't have just one organization behind it. It's the festival from the startup community to the community, meaning that all organizations that have something to do with the topic of startups here in Vienna are combining their forces, getting together and organizing this festival for the worldwide startup community. During the 7 days of the festival, you can meet other startup founders, investors, tech enthusiasts, creatives, and visionaries. Many of you may know the city of Vienna as the city of history and culture, but as you can see also from the previous presentations, it's also a city of innovation, startups, and creativity. And Vienna Up is the best opportunity to experience this by yourself. Because in these 7 days, all contents that happen during the festival, and it's more than 40 events on more than 30 locations around Vienna, are in English, and the content is co-created by all the national and international organizations from the startup community. So it's very easy to meet all the different ecosystem players, like the trade chambers, like Advantage Austria, but also co-working spaces, accelerators, investors, VCs, and so on. Next year, we are expecting over 10,000 people, participants, to join us here in Vienna in person. And for some events, there's also opportunity to join online. Just to give you a grasp of the community that is creating the content of the festival, we have really smaller organizations, very focused ones, that, for example, the local Lisa Vienna Life Science organization or Health Hub Vienna that are very focused on the health topic. But also we have large organizations like the Trade Chamber, the Austrian Economics Bank, different accelerators, universities, co-workings that join their forces and create the content together. We as an organizing team take care for the well-being and the networking part of the festival. So there is one central location of the festival which is in the center of the city of Vienna, and it's called the Festival Home Base, where every participant can get free drinks in the evening and network, taste the typical Viennese gastronomy, and network with other participants. Also, there is the opportunity to use Viennese typical coffee houses as co-working spaces during Vienna Up Festival. So you can work from a typical coffee house and experience the UNESCO cultural heritage in person live in Vienna and meet potential business partners or investors there. Just to give you an idea of the contents of the festival, because besides the content, besides networking, also the content is very important part of the festival. I would like to give you some examples of events that have been already confirmed for the next year. First of them, on the opening day, will be the Startup World Cup Austria event, which is the gathering of the Austrian startup community and includes pitching of the best Austrian startups, meaning you can meet all investors from Austria and the region there and get connected with the startup community very fast. At the Connect Day, you can also meet corporates and more than 200 investors, not only from Austria, but also international ones. For example, last year there were corporates like Microsoft, Bosch, or local companies like Borealis or AVL. We had last year more than 1,000 participants that had 1,500 meetings. And the next year the event's going to be even larger. And the Connect Day is definitely one of the events that I would very recommend to everyone coming to Vienna, because you can easily and fast connect with the people that are relevant to your business. Vienna is actually one of the best cities for female founders. In the latest ranking of the startup cities in Europe, it's been ranked as the first with the highest percentage of female co-founders in female startups. Therefore, for us, it's also very important to cover the topic of female entrepreneurship. And the event Lead Today, Shape Tomorrow, that's going to take place on June 5 to June 6, is focusing and aiming on this topic. And its main target is to discuss the current challenges of female entrepreneurship and female startups and create more investment opportunities for them. We are expecting more than 600 people to join this event here in Vienna and more than 2,000 digital participants at this event. But you can join it also if you are not a woman, yeah? So it's a very inclusive event. And I would definitely experience to everyone to join either live, or if you cannot come to Vienna for any reason, you can join it in a hybrid way. The Impact Days are one of the flagship events of the Vienna Up, focused on the impact topic. As Vienna is aiming to become a carbon neutral city by 2040, we also have a big topical focus on the topic of impact and how startups can help us challenge this, help us solve this challenge. And we need to really act now in this area. So this is the event for everyone who is interested in the topic investment, in this impact investment topic, and exploring the ways how with impact investment we can drive this change and get better funding opportunities for startups and companies that solve the sustainability issues. This event is taking place at the Viennese Imperial Palace and starts on June 6th, on Thursday. Besides that, there are many other, about 40 other events. From those that are already confirmed now, I would like to mention the Smart City Summit, organized by the Vienna Business Agency, that aims to tackle the topic of smart city and bring showcases of smart city solutions here in Vienna. The Entrepreneurship Avenue is the event for early stage founders and students interested to found a startup. Manufacturing Day is an event, a conference focused on the topic of Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing. The Tech Jobs Fair is the event where you can meet tech talent and present your company to tech talent here in Vienna. And there are also lots of workshops and hackathons Just an example, the Europe Tech Hack that is aiming to solve European issues by technological solutions is going to take place from June 6th to June 8th, so also during the weekend. It makes sense to stay in Vienna, join a hackathon or workshop over a weekend and enjoy the city like our participants in the previous years, as you can see on the pictures. The tickets for Vienna Up will be available from mid-March 2024 on the website viennaup.com. So I would definitely recommend for everyone who is interested in considering going to Vienna to explore European startup scene and the German-speaking startup scene, to subscribe to our Vienna Up newsletter. You can find it on viennaup.com or by scanning this QR code so that you get informed as soon as the tickets are available. Most of the tickets are free of charge. So you can access the majority of events absolutely without any costs. But some of the events, they charge some smaller fee, but it's definitely one of the more affordable festivals. And to make this festival even more affordable, we also organize a startup incoming program for international startups. It's called the Vienna Startup Package, and you can apply for it now on the website of Vienna Business Agency or by scanning this code, this QR code here. For selected startups that get the startup package, we cover the travel expenses, the accommodation, a co-working space, and the individual business coaching focused on expanding your business to Europe and to German-speaking countries. So if you have already a startup that is ready to scale up to Europe, you would like to explore the European market, this is the really best opportunity, I think, how to start over here in Europe. And you can come here for 4 weeks to Austria with most of the expenses covered, and you will get coaching and workshops and networking events as a part of the package. So one more thanks for the attention. I would like to really welcome you, invite you all to Vienna to come here in June next year. It's the best time of the year to discover not only the sights of Vienna, but also to get connected with the Austrian startup ecosystem and explore the opportunities for your business on the European markets. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Juriga, and best greetings to Vienna. You heard it, everyone. Mark your calendars, beginning of June, Vienna Up. And this is our call to action. Utilize these programs, take advantage of the Vienna Startup Package, take advantage of the Go Austria program, and join your journey to the European market. If you have any questions regarding any of the companies or presentations given today, you can happily exchange with us. Our booth is right back there, the Advantage Austria booth. Otherwise, you can drop us an email at soul@advantageaustria.org or exchange a business card with me. All good things have to come to an end, and so does also our session. I say thank you, everyone, for joining us, and I wish you a lot of success for the upcoming days here at Vienna Up. Thank you.